My so-called life is sponsored by How's it going? I'm Godless Sewing, and this is the Godless Sewing channel. So, I finally, this week, I have finally gotten over my fear of side pockets. Also, I made a beautiful cape, and I'm going to show you step by step of how I make spans. I started off making board shorts, and in the middle of it, I decided to make long pants. So, as always, strap on, wear a helmet, and let's go sewing! So I found this beautiful, I don't know what to call it, blanket, duvet, whatever you want to call it. I found this at my local Goodwill. I couldn't just pass it up, and it is way too big for a back patch. So I decided to go for a Walter Mercado style cape. So this is going to be my second attempt at making a cape. Let's start sewing. See what happens. So, I say this all the time. If you're having a bad day, if you're going through something in your life, make something goofy. I am absolutely in love with capes. I grew up with Walter Mercado infomercials in my life as a kid. Anytime after midnight, if you went to any channel that was not speaking English, Walter Mercado would be on there with his magnificent wardrobe. I instantly fell in love with a cape because there is nothing that is more drama on this earth than walking in a room with a cape on. So when I saw this print, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I knew instantly what I was going to do with it. I always say this, but I had the time of my life making this, wearing it, and the reactions I get from people are priceless. So, like I always say, stay creative, keep sewing. So, hear me out. Yesterday, I was at my local Goodwill, and I found what I thought was a beautiful denim trench coat. I got it. I purchased it. I got it home. I was all excited. I put it on, and I realized it's a shirt. I'm a hobbit, and I bought a shirt thinking that it's a trench coat. This thing is huge. This shirt is so long that it's basically a coat on me. So what I'm gonna do is add pockets and move on with my life because this is beautiful. So it's that time of year. The weather doesn't know what it wants to do with itself because right now it's raining, but it's the perfect weather to make board shorts because I know eventually it's going to be 100 and something here in Southern California. So I'm going to show you how I make shorts. I found this beautiful leopard print. I'm going to grab my template, start sewing. Let's make it happen. So I know a lot of people draft patterns, they measure themselves, they make the shorts the exact length that they want to. I use an old pair of shorts as my template. These are my 15 to 16-year-old reliable shorts that I bought from Walmart, and I use them for everything because they're the perfect size and shape that I'm looking for. So now that I have it in place, I'm going to cut around it, see what happens. Okay, so now that I have my initial cut, I'm using that piece as a template for the second piece so that my shorts are the exact size on both sides. So now I have my pieces cut. I'm going to start lining everything up and sewing. The first thing I do is line up both sides, and then I cut the top of the waist to make it completely even. But I will always say use discretion, because sometimes you may make the shorts a little bit more short than you intended to. So I'm going to set my shapes, start sewing, see what happens. So my original intention were to make board shorts. And when I say board shorts, they were just more or less something that you can wear on a surfboard. But last year, I made probably 20 or 30 pairs of shorts, and most of them were board shorts. So in the middle of everything I was doing, I decided to cut the leg just a little bit in, and I made spans, and they came out beautiful. I absolutely love the design. I love the look. And it's that time of year. Just today, it was 90 degrees here in Southern California. The weather has no idea what it wants to do. But my shorts came out beautiful. So when I say spans, all I mean are really long shorts that are almost pants, so I call them short pants. I absolutely love how these came out. They look great. Today when I was wearing them, quite a few people had something to say. I absolutely love how people no longer react when I walk into the grocery store or a thrift store or the convenience store or anywhere that I frequent. People no longer react when I'm wearing something crazy. So, like I always say, stay creative, keep sewing.
They're just touching Touchtronic memory machines.
Incredible.
I'm Polly Bergen. Only Singer makes machines this easy to use. Touch. The memory remembers your stitch pattern instantly. Touchtronic speed control remembers to adjust your fabric thickness.
What about basting?
Touch. Great. You can forget about your sewing machine and concentrate on sewing. The Touchtronic memory machine family. Come take a test, Touch.
You know, I have acquired many sewing skills over the year, and I've been sewing for the majority of my life. But I am more than willing to admit that I hate sewing side pockets. One of the reasons I love making trench coats is because the pockets are on the front, at least in a more of a traditional trench. I challenged myself this week to actually add sides on my coat. And I'm obsessed with making giant pockets, and this entire project could have been a failure, but it was a success. I am utterly and completely stoked on how this coat came out. You know, I had 4 yards of this tennis ball green, neon green material, and I didn't necessarily know what to do with it, and I love how this coat came out. Sometimes you have to challenge yourself. I stepped outside of my box, and it was something that was a skill that I have, but it's not necessarily something that I use, so it feels great to have a trench coat with 6 pockets. Never give up on yourself. Always challenge yourself when it comes to life or sewing skills in general. And like I always say, stay creative, keep sewing. Never a boring day here in the House of Sewing. If you've made it this far, I thank you. And as always, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.
And 3 young brothers, we seen it hard, we seen it kind of rough, but always with a smile. She was sure to try to hide the fact from us that life was really tough. I can hear my mother call, I can hear my mother call. Late at night I hear a call, on the Lord I hear a call. She said, Father, Father, it's for the kids, any and everything I did. Please, please don't judge me too strong. Lord knows I meant no wrong. Lord knows I meant no wrong. Then the devil sang, would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.